Hello and welcome to an exciting episode of the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra. First, let's focus on performance. Yes, I'm talking about recently launched Mercedes AMG CLE 53. Anirban Mitra reviews the car.
Mercedes-Benz AMG CLE 53 4MATIC Plus. That was a rather long name. Now there's a 3-liter twin-scroll turbo engine under the hood which makes 450 horsepower, 560 Nm of peak torque, 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds and a top speed of 270 clicks an hour. With fast numbers out of the way, let's check out how furious and fun the CLA 53 can be. Engine is from the same family as the E450, however the internals, piston ring, the turbocharger, all that is different, more tuned to go with the AMG performance of this car. And it's largely refined. You do feel that rumble inside the cabin, that exhaust pops and crackles, but most of it is manufactured. The stereo system here allows that audio drama when you're behind this steering wheel. The engine is linked to a 9-speed AMG torque converter. It's quite seamless and precise the way it moves up and down. In fact, the decoupling technology used in this is quite different from the regular E. And my reference always draws back to the E-Class because it's the same platform MRA, two-platform modular rear architecture, and as the name suggests, it's a 4MATIC. However, when need be, it switches to the rear wheel setup quite swiftly. You're driving sedately, you need more mileage, it goes to rear wheel configuration. You want to have some performance, have some fun on track or while having drift, it moves to the rear mode configuration. So overall, the sense of power put across all the wheels is quite accurate. You have a lot of fun and almost 450 horsepower on tap. You never feel out of breath. The engine also gets a starter generator which gives an additional boost of around 40 Nm, taking the combined output to over 600 Nm on the tap. Also, what's different to the CLE 53 compared to a C-Class is the help of rear axle steering. At lower speeds, when you are turning the car, the rear wheels move in the opposite direction as the front, effectively reducing the overall wheelbase. On the contrary, at high speeds, the front and the rear wheels, well, they are aligned in the similar direction. And if you're planning to buy the CLE 53 AMG, I think you'd be a happy customer. It is one of those rare few cars under 1.5 CR which is extremely practical, gives you good space though being a sports car, and also if you want to go touring, this one is actually a very handsome package. The more powerful CLE 63 is also on its way to the global markets, and we also expect that to come to India probably. As you can see, I'm going over speed breakers. I need not slow the car down, or I need not go in a zigzag fashion to ride over a speed breaker. So all in all, the suspension is quite nicely balanced. There are some lateral movements when you drive sedately over potholes and bumps. Even when you are gunning the sedan down a straight or on a corner, the suspension, which in fact is adaptive dampers, holds its shape balance quite nicely. You get massive rotors, over 300mm discs on offer on all the wheels. They are sharp, the bite and the progression is confidence inspiring, and the red brake calipers stick out of the black alloy wheels, which gives it quite a different look and feel when you have a closer look at it. In last couple of minutes, you have been taking note of the overall design of the CLE 53, and I'm kind of awe with the design. It's low slung, this stealth black color and sloping roofline overall matches a synergy that's very pleasing to the eyes. There are AMG elements that you cannot miss out on. The grille is a vertical slat one like most other AMG cars, with a massive chrome chunk circular Mercedes logo right in front. But onto the sides, it's the 20-inch alloy wheels finished in this gunmetal black with Y shape. It's a little loud, but well goes with the overall demeanor of the car. The digital lights have excellent throw and the bonnet is stooping, large, and got power bulges. Overall, might look pretty low slung, but glides over road breakers pretty effortlessly. Now onto the sides, it's the door handles that's a little sore eye. The chrome really doesn't fit in there, but again, maybe with other colors, it's all that not loud. It gets sexy frameless doors. Now, mind you, this is a two-door coupe, so in case you want to move into the rear passenger seats, the aperture isn't all that much, and ingress and egress out of the car takes a bit of an effort. Onto the rear third, the sloping roofline meets this kink. The spoiler is accentuating the aerodynamic credentials of the car. The boot space roughly spans over 400 liters in space, but it's mostly consumed by the spare wheel and a few knickknacks here and there. But what really stands out in the rear section has to be this quad exhaust. It looks beautiful and loud as it sounds. Hello there. Well, the cabin is familiar like most other Mercedes AMG cars. It's completely darked out. The seats are super snuggy. Sport seats give me good cushioning. They come with heating, cooling, electric adjustments and memory function. The steering wheel, as expected, is wrapped around in Alcantara leather and has got carbon fiber finish all around it. Now, the main screens are quite large. They give you all the information that you require, but then the party trick remains here. These dials help you to go through the controls that you want if you are trying to switch and drive it excitingly. On the right is for the modes. There are 6 drive modes to choose from. On the left, you can adjust the ESP, exhaust sound, and few other features. If you're gonna go for a track ride, you have the circuit option, which allows you to go for lap timing. As far as the features go, well, you get wireless charging, 2-zone automatic climate control, Burmeister, really bassy sound stereo system, and overall the view from the driver's seat, I kind of like it. It's low slung. However, I can see the edge of the bonnets, which means I have a little bit of extra control when I'm going through tight spaces. It's a 2-door sports coupe, and I hadn't expected the rear seat to be as comfortable as they actually are. Getting into those can be a little tricky with the aperture quite limited, but once you're seated there, it's again quite snuggy, holds you firm. However, the backrest can't really move, but legroom, I'm quite surprised, and you can really spend long hours there. As far as safety goes, it gets 8 airbags, and one of them is between the front passengers, so in case of collision, you really won't get into the co-driver space. And also it comes with a latest suite of ADAS features. I like keeping the emergency braking shut because it kind of intrudes whenever something passes by, and often that's not required. The SUV with one of the strongest pull in the Indian market, the Bolero, has been revised for 2025. Partly due to GST revision and also a few feature upgrades here and there, this one becomes really lucrative. The Bolero range starts at 8 lakh rupees ex-showroom, goes under 10 lakh, whereas the Neo starts at around 8.5 lakh rupees, tops out at 9.99 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Let me tell you what has really changed in the Bolero and Bolero Neo, and does it really fit into scheme of things for you or not? You tell me in the comments box. Well, starting off with the Bolero, which is there for almost 25 years now, the market is really strong, over 16.8 lakh units sold thus far. This one, company says, is the strongest SUV name in the Indian market. For 2025, the facelift now has a different grille. This one gets twin peak logo, the new Mahindra logo for SUVs. Also, as company says, thanks to customer feedback, now the Bolero also gets fog lamps. The alloy design is slightly reworked. It's 15-inch with the top model, and if you are really wanting to spend on the Bolero, new features are on offer, and the top model, the new B10 edition, is at 9.69 lakh rupees ex-showroom. For starters, there are multiple changes inside the cabin. Let's hop inside and tell you what are those. Well, as far as the engine is concerned, no change. The MHOG diesel continues to do its duties here. Around 75 bhp, 210 Newton meters of peak torque, made it to a 5-speed gearbox here. It continues to have the ladder-on frame chassis. The dashboard layout is slightly different. This one, the head unit is reworked. Now, there are a few new features here, but there are a few USB charging points, and also this instrumentation has been slightly reworked. What's also fresh here, in fact, first time in Bolero, are these leatherette seats. The top-end variant gets these perforated leather seats, don't come with ventilation though. However, I think this will improve the overall premium quotient inside the cabin of the Bolero. It's a 3-row SUV with side-facing third-row seats. And for mechanicals, it continues to have a frequency selective dampers and a rear wheel setup to go with. Now let's hop onto the Bolero Neo and let's take you through what are the changes there. Talking about the Neo, this new grille reminds me of the previous XUV 300 where the grille has been placed in a horizontal element design with a chrome studded top end. Also, the alloy wheels are different here, 16-inch compared to the 15 on the Neo. The design of the alloy wheel has also been reworked. Also new to this Bolero Neo is this color scheme. It's called denim jeans color. With this you have 6 monotone and 3 dual tone options where the roof can be blacked out. Now let's hop inside the cabin of the Neo. Now compared to the Bolero, this one feels a little bit more sophisticated and quite understandably has been positioned for urban market and semi-urban market. The dashboard layout has been slightly reworked. This one is finished in dual tone color and this new ivory shade really gives it an upmarket feel. The instrumentation, the head-up unit is also a little different here. Comes with more features than before. Gets AC controls down below with new buttons here and there. Also you get now C-type USB charging port, which is also a new addition to the Bolero lineup. Also the instrumentation is quite different from the Bolero. The price difference is around 50,000 for the base variant and around 30,000 for the top end variant. Also with the Bolero Neo there is a new N11 variant which brings in a lot of these features which were not there. To start off, this one also gets leatherette seats, light color tone and with perforation. Feels really upmarket and gives you that extra bit of premiumness in the Bolero's cabin. This is also a 3-row SUV with side-facing third-row seats. Not much has changed internally. It continues to have the same M-Hawk diesel engine. However, the tuning is different. This one makes more power, around 100 brake horses and 210 Newton meters of peak torque. Again, made it to a 5-speed gearbox. It also gets multi-terrain technology which helps you go through uneven patches, especially on off-road. The Bolero and Bolero Neo continue to be Mahindra's most affordable SUVs in the Indian market. They are priced under 10 lakh rupees, fully loaded variant. And for 2025, the facelifts do bring in some changes. However, they are not remarkably or drastic than before. But I think this re-emphasizes Mahindra's commitment to Tier 2 and Tier 3 market. And I think with the changes in terms of features and a little bit of styling, this one will appeal to Tier 2 and Tier 3 market more than ever before. Two cars with similar body type foster similar ambitions to capture the entry-level SUV market. I have two latest entrants, the Skoda Kylaq and the Mahindra XUV 3XO. How do these cars stack up against each other and where should you be putting your money? Let's find out in today's video. For the matter of comparison, we have the top-loaded spec of both the cars, but if you look at the price chart, well, they go up the ladder almost at similar price point. But at the higher end, where you get ADAS features and electronic parking brake, the XUV will cost you almost 2 lakh over the Kylaq. In terms of design, Kylaq can be considered a baby Kylaq, more proportionate in design. I like the curves and arches on the Kylaq. There's this blacked out grille and this color complexion with 17-inch alloy wheels look really nice. Tail lamp design on the Skoda, it's too small for my liking. But on the other end, the Mahindra is pretty different. It's a Gen Z of cars. It has got design elements which stand out. The grille, I haven't seen something like that in a long time. It stands out, sticks out. Both 3XO and Kylaq are new age cars. Hence, if you're looking for features, Mahindra and Skoda will pamper you a lot. You get 10-inch display here. The Mahindra gets slightly bigger, 10.25 inch. Both the cars get fully digital driver display, auto dimming IRVM, wireless charging. Sunroof, however, the XUV gets panoramic. This one is a smaller sunroof, but the fit and finish on the Skoda is really premium. It has got multiple layers and I like this olive touch on this panel. There is levels of plastic used, but overall there's a sense of premiumness that you can associate with Skoda. Couple of features that are kind of exclusive to the Kylaq are these front seats, which are electrically adjustable and also get ventilation feature. That's a no-brainer in our Indian summers where it can get really sweaty. Also, the seats are leatherette, black finished. On the XUV, you get light colored interiors, which means it's really difficult to maintain them from getting soiled. 3XO misses out on seat ventilation but makes it up with dual zone climate control. 360-degree camera, an extremely handy feature for cities, is also exclusive to 3XO. I also like the sky view through the panoramic sunroof of 3XO, which is a missing feature in Kylaq. Now again, thanks to these light colored fabric, it's also the XUV which is more airier, feels more roomier. What supports the cause is the best in segment wheelbase, 2600 of wheelbase, and I can move around my leg. Even if you are 6 foot or above, I don't think there'll be any issue if you are spending long hours here. However, very tall individuals might have a little bit of a problem with the head space. Also, this is the widest cabin in the segment, which means if you are fitting 3 people in the second row, this one would be the comfiest among a lot of SUVs in this segment. However, this one has been derived from a bigger car, the SsangYong Trivoli, which means it's an abruptly chopped off rear. The Kylaq, as you know, is only available in a single petrol engine option, 1 litre 3-cylinder TSI petrol engine, which makes 115 horsepower, 178 Newton meters of peak torque. You get 2 transmission options, a manual and a 6-speed torque converter. Well, the performance is genuinely engaging. It is the bottom end torque in Kylaq that will disappoint you a bit. Too much of gear shifting has to happen in stop-go traffic to get to the mid-range and then the top-end performance to extract that much of fun factor if you want to have with this car. Because make no mistake, the MQB A0iN platform on the Kylaq and now the Kylaq are really fun to drive. They can handle a lot of performance when you throw them around the corner. So maybe outright acceleration I will give it to XUV 3XO, but it is the Kylaq which makes a strong case of handling when you push it around the corners. It's also the Kylaq which feels little bit more softer when it goes through bad roads and undulation at low speeds. But as you gain speed, I think the Mahindra has a stronger case when it's on the highways. It feels more planted at triple digit speeds. In terms of braking, the Kylaq has got front disc rear drum. On the other hand, Mahindra is among the few cars in the segment which come with all disc brakes, and the biting in the 3XO is quite sharp. Both the cars have 6 airbags as standard, reverse parking sensors as standard from base variant, electronic stability control is also standard, and both the cars have attained 5-star Bharat NCAP crash test rating. Thankfully with Mahindra you don't have dearth of choices. 3 engine options. I am driving the more powerful of the 2 petrol engines. It's a direct injection 1.2 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine, and this one makes 131 horsepower and 230 Newton meters of peak torque. Again, it gets the same amount of combination in terms of gearboxes. It has 6-speed manual and a 6-speed torque converter, as you would see in the Kylaq as well. While Kylaq has paddle shifters to play with, this one misses out on paddle shifters, but then Mahindra has offered 3 drive modes with the 3XO turbo petrol, zip, zap, zoom, and for all practical purposes I find zap to be adequately fun to drive. In fact, the low end torque which is missing in Kylaq, you get to experience that in Mahindra, and you have good build up of torque across the rev range all the way from 1500 RPM. Top end, both the cars become a bit noisy inside the cabin. For me, the Kylaq is a little too disturbing than the XUV 3XO. The 3XO is more powerful in the spec sheet and it reflects on the driving wheel as well. A gentle dab at the throttle and this car takes off with a lot of urgency. I kind of like the torque rush this car has, and throughout the rev range you get performance from the 3XO's engine. Handling wise, Kylaq is really fun. If you throw it around corners, it holds its line as if you can give more power. I expect the 1.5 TSI to come into the Kylaq sometime soon. The Mahindra is also powerful. It has got better ride quality. It goes over bad roads with more confidence, but around the corners you do feel a lot of body roll. And these seats on the 3XO, I just wished for more side support. These lateral supports could have been much better, and especially if I want to drive it faster around corners, I feel tossed around and good amount of body roll. Along with a robust ride, what also helps the 3XO is the good ground clearance. It measures over 200 millimeters, almost 15 millimeters more than that in the Kylaq, and on days you really want to go through really bad roads and over tall undulations, the 3XO has got your back. In terms of safety features, both the cars are evenly packed, but if you want to pay extra, 3XO will provide you more. It's among the few cars in the segment which gets ADAS functionalities. It also gets front parking sensors, electronic parking brake, but that comes at a premium. But lastly, at the driving seat, I feel the 3XO is more commanding. The view from the driving seat feels even more solid than that you experience in the Kylaq. It is the baby Kylaq that looks more pleasing to the eyes and more proportionate in design. But you have to give it to Mahindra for the bold looks of the XUV 3XO, bigger footprint and packing it to the gills in terms of features. Well, the Skoda claws back its feet with fun to drive factor. But again, with more engine options and quicker off-the-line acceleration, the 3XO might just edge ahead in terms of performance. Well, it's a tie for me. Personally speaking, my inclination is more towards the Skoda. What are your thoughts?
Automobile retail sales surged to a record during Navratri, driven by unprecedented tax cuts and festive offers. Vehicle registrations climbed to 34% to 1.16 million units, with significant growth across passenger cars, two-wheelers, commercial vehicles and tractors. Compared to 6.14 lakh two-wheelers sold in Navratri in 2024, buyers took home 8.35 lakh bikes this time. This boost in consumer sentiment is attributed to reduced GST rates, income tax revisions and lower interest rates. Octavia returns in its most powerful avatar yet, with prices expected to fall between Rs 50 lakh and Rs 60 lakh ex-showroom. The official launch is slated for October 17, with deliveries commencing November 6. Days after opening bookings, Skoda Auto India's upcoming Octavia RS has witnessed an overwhelming response, with all 100 units allocated for India have already been sold. The second generation 2025 Hyundai Venue is set to be launched on November 4. Spy Shots have confirmed an updated grille, new split LED headlamps, alloys and updated tail lamps. Expect new features like panoramic sunroof, ventilated front seats, level 2 ADAS and front parking sensors. It is expected to continue with same NA petrol, turbo petrol and diesel engine options.
I hope you liked the show today. If you like watching auto-related content, you can join us on our YouTube channel NDTV Auto. Don't forget to subscribe and press that bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a video. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platform. I will see you next week. Till then, take good care of yourself. Drive safe. Bye-bye.